Hello everyone, welcome to the Accessibly YouTube channel and a tutorial. My name is Taylor Arndt and I am one of the contributors on the Accessibly YouTube channel, and I'm super excited to be here today. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be installing Windows 11 on an M1 Mac. That is right. We are going to be installing Windows 11 using an application called UTM on an M1 Mac as a virtual machine. You may be asking yourselves, why do you want to do this? And it comes down to a couple of reasons. First off, you may want to have Windows so that you are able to do accessibility testing, for example, which is why I need Windows. The second reason is you may want to play Windows games, although I warn you that this is not the best way for you to play Windows games. If you want to play games, I would check out Parallels as it has a lot more performance. The next thing you may want to do with Windows is you may want to use it for general productivity. Then keep listening to this video as I'm going to show you guys how to do this absolutely for free. That's right, you can do this completely for free. Okay, so how do I get started? That's a great question. And the first thing you'll need is you're going to need an application called UTM. The link is in the description. And to save y'all sanity, I have decided that I'm going to put it in the description for y'all to download. So you'll download the UTM application, which is the virtual machine software. UTM is simply a front-end user interface for something called QEMU, which is an open source virtual machine software, and is usually used on Linux. So you've seen it probably on Linux, and it's usually through the command line, as well as it allows you to create different types of machines. So we'll have a Windows 11 machine. The final thing you're going to need is you're going to need a Windows 11 ISO, and you're going to need the Windows 11 ISO for ARM because this is technically not an Intel-based Mac. You're going to need that, and the way you'll download that is you'll need to make sure that you're a Windows insider because the Windows for ARM is currently not available on production as of January 2022 when I'm recording this recording. So you're going to need to make sure you have that around. If all three of these things are true, then let's go ahead and get started by creating ourselves a virtual machine. I'm going to open up UTM, which is my first step.
Now in UTM window. UTM window. Empty table has keyboard focus.
Now that my UTM is open, our next task is to create a new virtual machine, because after all, that is what we're going to be doing today. A good rule of thumb while doing virtual machines is you want to use half of your computer's resources. I have an M1 MacBook Pro and I have 8 gigs of RAM. So I would want to use 4 gigs of RAM, and I'd also want to use half of my CPU cores. The good thing about this UTM is that it automatically allocates your resources half and half. And so that makes the process really easy for us. Let's go ahead and now create a new virtual machine.
In dialog link, download pre-built from UTM
by doing Command N. And it will ask you to virtualize, or it will ask you to
emulate, virtualize faster, but can only run the native CPU.
Virtualize is faster, but it can only run the native CPU, just like it says here.
Virtualize faster, but can only run the native CPU architecture. Button.
So it can only run the native CPU architecture.
Emulate, slower, but can run other CPU architectures. Button.
Emulate is slower, but it can run other CPU architectures. I'm going to go ahead and do virtualize, because virtualize is what we're going to need here. You could do emulate, but I would rather do virtualize, and so I'm going to pick the first option.
Virtualize faster operating system.
Our next step is the operating system. So this is where I'm going to pick Windows 11, but you can pick whatever you'd like here.
Mac OS 12 Windows button. Space.
All right.
Import VHDX image. Checked checkbox.
This will import the VHDX image, and I'm going to go ahead and grab mine from the downloads folder. Make sure you downloaded the ARM version. I made a mistake once and I accidentally downloaded the ISO, and that was for Intel Macs. That didn't work too well for me.
Space. Browse button.
I'm going to browse.
In open dialog list view table.
And I'm going to do
Win11.vhdx virtual hard disk. 9.90
right.
Browse button. Closing dialog. Windows. Boot hint. For the best Windows experience, make sure to download and install the latest link, Spice Tools and QEMU drivers. Close button. Back button. Next button.
Next.
Back close button. 4. Contents selected. Edit text. 4. CPU cores stepper.
4 CPU cores, 4 gigs of RAM.
MP. 4096. Contents
And
selected. Edit
as well
text.
as memory.
10. Memory. Hardware. Hardware.
I think this is all fine.
Click back. Next button.
I'm going to go next. And I had to go backwards with voiceover in this screen, as you could see.
Back button. Close button. Read only share. Unchecked checkbox.
Read only share. So you can give it a directory where it's accessible from both the VM and computer, your host.
Button. Back button. Next button.
I'm going to go next.
Save
now.
button.
And this is a review screen.
Back button.
So
close button. Scroll area.
I'm going to review
Windows.
my
Contents. Open VM settings. Unchecked checkbox.
And I can go ahead and rename this virtual machine right now. It's called Windows. I'm going to leave it there.
Engine. Dimmed.
Engine.
QEMU. Engine. Dimmed text.
Leave that.
Use virtualization. Dim checked checkbox. Architecture. Dimmed. AARCH64. Architecture. Dimmed
Leave all
text.
this the same.
System. Dimmed. Vert. System. Dim. RAM. Dimmed. 4 gigabytes. RAM.
4
Dim
gigabytes
text.
RAM, leave
CPU.
that.
Dim. 4 cores. CPU.
4 cores,
Storage.
leave that as
Dim.
well.
68.72 gigabytes. Storage.
68
Dim text.
gigabytes. What a number. I'm going to go ahead and leave that for now, but you can always allocate more. But man, 68 gigs. Why can't it just round up to 70? I'm just saying, y'all.
Operating system. Dim.
Operating system.
Windows. Operating system.
Windows.
Skip boot image. Dim check. Disk
Skip
image.
boot image.
Dim. /user /Taylor on /download /share directory. Dim checked checkbox.
Share directory.
Dim /user /Taylor on /documents /shared content. Directory.
Shared content.
Dim. Read only. Dim unchecked checkbox.
It's not read only, like we said.
Read only. Dim outage.
And
Close.
those are our
Back button.
options.
Save button.
Now we're going to hit the save
Table.
button.
Windows. QEMU 6.2 ARM virtual machine. Alias of VIRT 6.
And it's going to take a little bit of time to get itself initialized. And so the way we're going to tell is we're just going to have to kind of wait until it's ready. And I'm going to go ahead and pause so that you guys don't have to see how long this takes. And I will be with you guys in just a couple minutes. I now see that my virtual machine is ready to go. And the way that I see my virtual machine is ready to go is I hear this button called run. I'm going to go ahead and press this run button. And it's going to walk me through the installation process. I was actually mesmerized of how this actually worked. So before I do it, I want to go ahead and explain a couple things. So when I did the run procedure, what it does is it goes ahead and it gets the drivers, it gets everything it needs, and then I literally went ahead and it went on to setup. So it's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and do it together. So I'm going to go ahead and hit run now.
UTM window. Image. Virtual machine. Capture input.
You may be wondering, how am I going to see what's going on? Because I'm a voiceover user. Voiceover recognition is y'all's friend. So I'm going to press VO Shift L.
Detected document. Possible text. BDSC. Loading boot 0003. UEFI QEMU MUME control drive UI from PCI root. OXO PCI. OX9. OXO NUME. OXL. 00-00-00-00-00-00-00-00. BDSC. Starting boot 0.
That's a whole bunch of gibberish, correct? Yes, I got a whole bunch of gibberish out of that, but I did get something really important. Starting boot. So I knew that it was going to start boot. So that's pretty great. And I'm going to do this every so often. And the way that I'm going to know it's done, believe it or not, folks, is I'm going to hear the Windows 11 sound. Now, I did have to interact on one of the boot menus, and I had to select an option. But once I was able to do that, it was a straightforward process. And I didn't even have any screen readers because you will not in this process. When you're doing it through this UTM, you're not going to have a screen reader until you get to the setup. Okay, so let's see where we're at here.
Detected document. Possible text. Getting ready.
Getting ready. All right, so now we're getting ready. We're done with the gibberish, at least for the time being. And you notice I'm just using my VO Shift L to get my voiceover recognition. And all that's doing is that's giving me the status of the VM. And now I'm going to do it again because I see the visual screen change.
Detected document. Possible text. Start boot option.
Start boot option. Okay.
Detected document. Possible text. Bullet.
All I did when I heard start boot option is I just press enter. I just press enter. Now I'm not sure if that's required. I just happened to do that and it worked last time. So I'm going to assume that it will work for y'all. And let me know if it doesn't. Boom. The magical sound of Windows. I have my Windows 11. And you know what I can do next, y'all? I can do this little sound. The narrator. Oops.
Start narrator dialog.
I've got narrator,
okay.
folks.
Button. Alt
Okay.
plus O. Heads
So,
up. Pay. Microsoft
see.
account window. Windows setup.
Wants me to log into my Microsoft account. Now, all I'm doing, remember, when you're doing it on a Mac and you have Windows, your keys are reversed. So your Alt is your option, your Command is your Windows, and they're in reverse order. So just remember that when you use your computer. But I have proven that I can get Windows 11 on this ARM-based Mac using UTM and VoiceOver. It is a fairly accessible process. The UTM app is fully accessible as well. I haven't had any problems. Folks, this has been a great tutorial. I'm probably going to do a part 2 to this of how to configure your screen reader, but I just wanted to get this initial part out. But let me know if you all like this. And if you do, I can do more of these types of videos. But if you like more of my content, then you can go ahead and check out the TWP WordPress channel if you want WordPress content. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe to Techopolis if you haven't already. We've got some cool videos coming up, and I don't want you guys to miss them. And we have Michael's Minecraft streams as well. So if you're interested in Minecraft, you might want to subscribe and other games. Well, this has been an awesome tutorial on the Techopolis YouTube channel. I am out, and I'll see y'all later, and have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.